Trump has just showed interest in buying Greenland and annexing Canada, saying that it should be a state. According to some reports, Trump suggested that if Denmark doesn't cooperate, they would face high tariffs as a punishment. This has started to ring alarms in Europe, while Denmark and Greenland have stated that Greenland is simply not for sale. Why does this strange panhandle exist, and why is it a bad news for both Afghanistan and Pakistan? So back in time, the Wakhan corridor was established as a buffer zone between the Russians and the British. But why is it so unstable? So this ethnicity called Pashtun lives on both sides of this border. Now Afghanistan wants these Pashtuns have greater autonomy. Then Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of providing safe haven to several militant groups, heightening more tensions. Canada might be the unluckiest country in North America, and here's how. So, even though it's the second largest country, only 7% of Canada's land is suitable for agriculture, and majority of Canadians live within 100 miles of the US border, leaving all of this big area empty. Then around 75% of its exports are destined for the US, meaning they got no control over their own economy. Moving up, we see the Northwest Passage, and we might see disputes over these waters in the upcoming future. Let's talk about the safest continent during World War III. So forget North America, Europe, and Asia, because they have prominent players and rivalries. Considering Africa, Botswana, Namibia, or Mauritius and Seychelles are notable, thanks to their geographic isolation. Now South America is a good option, because it has a lot of food and low strategic value. Then Oceania, and particularly New Zealand or these small islands, are good. Some people also say that Antarctica is good, but the weather won't let you survive. Siberia contributes around 77% of Russia's total land, but it has a small population even lower than of Ukraine or Poland. So why does Russia still want to keep it? Wouldn't selling it to the USA, just like Alaska, solve the problem? So firstly, Russia wouldn't want itself to be sandwiched among NATO strongholds. Secondly, Siberia has unlimited natural resources, so giving it up would be foolish. Siberia also acts as a buffer between Russia and these Eastern powers. Moreover, Russia knows that global warming would make Siberia livable and support even more population. These are some examples of how Switzerland broke its neutrality. So 2 years ago, in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Switzerland adopted EU sanctions against Russia, including freezing Russian assets. Then, during World War II, the Swiss airspace was violated by both Allied and Axis powers. Swiss forces downed several intruding aircrafts, including those of the Allies, to defend their neutrality. Despite these efforts, the Allies bombed Swiss cities such as Schaffhausen, which severely questioned the Swiss neutrality. There's a country that no one recognizes except the United States. Fun fact is that this country sits right in the US soil, and they have no problem with it. This country has its own president, currency, and 38 legal citizens. But if somehow they discover huge reserves of oil in their territory, who's gonna keep that oil? Tell me in the comments.
These are some Muslim countries that actually support Israel. So first up, we have Morocco, which recognizes Israel in order for the US to recognize Western Sahara as a part of Morocco. Then we got Egypt, which recognizes Israel as it returned Egypt's captured land in 1979. Next up, we have Turkey, which was the first Muslim country to recognize Israel, leading to the rest of the Turkic countries to also recognize Israel as fully independent. There was a proposal to divide Switzerland among these three nations, plus it was about to get nuked by Libya, as Libya had some domestic beef with Switzerland. You see, Gaddafi's family was jailed in Switzerland because they beat their servants, and Gaddafi wasn't so happy about it. So he stated that if he had nukes, he would erase Switzerland from the world map. Shortest-lived countries, Part 2. So in 1939, Carpatho-Ukraine declared independence following the disintegration of Czechoslovakia, but it was invaded by Hungary the next day, meaning it remained independent for only 24 hours. These are some shortest-lived countries. So in 1859, miners in Rough and Ready, California broke away from the US as a protest, but they only lasted 3 months before they voted to rejoin the US. Next up, during the Philippines Revolution against the Spanish, this guy established a republic in 1897, but he just stayed for a month due to a peace agreement, leading to his exile. These are some Muslim countries that actually support Israel. So first up, we have Morocco, which recognizes Israel in order for the US to recognize Western Sahara as a part of Morocco. Then we got Egypt, which recognizes Israel as it returned Egypt's captured land in 1979. Next up, we have Turkey, which was the first Muslim country to recognize Israel, leading to the rest of the Turkic countries to also recognize Israel as fully independent.